and welcome to UWS Careers Cafe, the podcast for UWS students and graduates, where we talk with guests to discuss all things careers. I'm your host, Cara Ritson, and today I'm joined by our UWS graduate, Catherine, who's going to tell us about her career journey as an international student looking to find work in the UK. Catherine, thank you so much for joining us. I wondered if we could start with you telling me a bit about who you are and where you come from.
Yeah, so thank you for having me here. And it's a pleasure to share my story. So my name is Catherine. I come from Ghana. So I moved to the UK as an international student to pursue a master's degree in project management in 2020. And at the moment, I'm working with UWS as a project coordinator on a digital dairy chain project, 21 million UKRI funded project.
That's great. Well, it's so great to have you along as our guest. I wondered if you could maybe tell me a bit more about your career path, your story. So you told us you studied your master's. What happened once you finished your studies?
Yeah, so it was quite an interesting journey. So after my master's degree, I was in Paisley here. Then I decided to kind of move to London to go and look for better opportunity, as we all do. So after that, I moved to London, and then I was kind of looking for a job. And then I applied for so many jobs, so many roles, like over I could say over 200 jobs applications, and I was not getting anywhere. It keeps on, all that I was saying was, we are sorry, unfortunately, and it became so overwhelming and so difficult.
Can you tell me what kind of job you were doing in London at the time?
I was working in a special school as a TA, and then along the line, they were looking for, because of the skills gap, they were looking for kind of a permanent role. So I was working as an agent staff. So I applied for the role, and then I got it, and then during the checks of my document, they got to realize that I'm an international student, and then I have a limited visa to stay. And so they have to revoke the employment contract. They say they cannot employ me because I do not have a British passport. They are looking for somebody with a more permanent role, permanent stay. And that was so devastating. Yeah, so I didn't get that job, and it was so hard, if I should say.
Yeah, I can imagine. And that is, I mean, I'm sure lots of people will be in that position like you, who have different visas. And that's one of the tips that we'll come to at the end of this podcast, to say it's always a good idea to make sure what your visa requirements are, and what employers you can work for. You got to a point, I think, where you reached out to the Career Service. Is that right? Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so that's quite an interesting story. So I have my LinkedIn profile set up so well because of what I was looking for in career wise, and I had updated my LinkedIn profile, did all that I needed to do. So one evening, and I kept on visiting my profile to see what is there, what is going on, and what I could benefit from. And then one time I realized a career advisor from UWS has seen my profile. So I quickly reached out to him, and I said, yeah, I've seen you look through my profile, but at the moment I'm struggling getting a job. I've applied for so many jobs, but I'm not getting anywhere. Is there anything you could do to help me with? Then he was really good. He said, oh yeah, okay, let's and one important thing was that after school, we still have access to our emails, I think for 2 years or so as a graduate.
That's right. It's up to 5 now, actually.
It's
Yeah,
up
that's
to
right.
5.
You can
Okay.
access the Career Service
Okay.
up to 5 years after you graduate. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so he asked me to book an appointment with him, so that we could go through it and see how best he could help me. And so we did that, and then we had a first section. He guided me through how to kind of go by the applications. And then so one thing he took me through was that he taught me how to properly do a job application, even though I was applying, but I think I was kind of doing a generic kind of applications. So he taught me how to kind of specifically direct my CV to the job or the role that I was applying for. And that was really helpful because I think we had two sessions. The first section, he took me through that, and then he asked me to go and look for a role that I am interested in and then apply through the processes that he has guided me. He even, I think he made me, we have to go through one application. He was so generous with me, I should say. He had to go through an application process with me and then really teach me what to do and what not to do. So I think after our second session, the two jobs that I applied for, I got an interview.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
wonderful to hear. So one of the main things that you benefited from the career service was really how to tailor your applications and your CV to a specific job. And you spent quite a lot of time working with your careers advisor to help you apply for those jobs. And then you got interviews, which is brilliant. It sounds like though your path wasn't so straightforward. Tell me more. What happened after that? What happened after those interviews?
Yeah, so after those interviews, I think the first interview was an associate lecturer in a school, and we were only two, myself and an elderly man. And then it was a really tough interview process. But after going through it, I didn't get the job. And then so they phoned me to say, we are sorry. We think well, I didn't, let me just cut the story short. I didn't get the job. And by then, I had another interview upcoming. So I channeled my energy and my focus on that role. And then I really prepared. I even went back to the guy who helped me in UWS to kind of also guide me through the interview process as well. And then he spoke with me. He took time. He also guided me through the interview process. And then after the interview, the second interview, I got a job.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
That's so good to hear. And well done, because I know you really persevered. It sounds like it was quite a tough journey. At times, wanting to give up, but keeping on going, getting the help from the career service.
Yeah, it was a tough journey. I mean, one advice that somebody also gave me when I finished my school, the person said, he said, in order for you to get a job in this country, you have to put in as much time and energy as you put in when you were doing your master's degree. And that's really kind of stuck with me. So sometimes I could just pack my laptop and then go to the library just to go and apply for jobs. So that was how much effort and energy I put into that. And then one thing that I also did as an international student, especially when that opportunity in the school was revoked because I had a limited time to stay, was that I had to look onto the UKVI. They have an Excel sheet that contains all the jobs that offer sponsorships. So now I decided to kind of tailor my applications to those companies that I know. Should I get a job with them, they will be able to offer me sponsorship.
That's really good advice for international students who want to stay in the UK, is to know, as we said, what visas they have and be familiar with who they can work for. And depending on the requirements of their visa, if they need sponsorship, that there are lists out there where you can access sponsoring companies. So that's really good advice. That's one piece of advice you would probably give to an international student. Is there anything else that you would advise?
Yeah, I think apart from tailoring your CV to the job role and also looking at the companies that you know, because going through the application processes it's really tedious. You don't want to waste your time applying for a job like I did, and at the end of the day, they came out to say, we really wanted to have you here, but you have a limited visa and we don't offer sponsorship. So you would want to tailor that kind of, go and look for that kind of Excel and look for the companies that you know they have the sponsorship code to give you. And also another thing is that as a student, as an international student, you have to look for some of the events that a career advisors or the career department in UWS offers. Because I remember during my time, there were some emails that I was receiving about career events, career programs that I didn't take advantage of that. If I had, I think I wouldn't have gone through that tough season as I did. So one advice is also make use of the career team, the career advisors in the university, and it will make a difference.
That's great. Hopefully lots of people will take you up on that advice, and you can book an appointment with us. We'd love to help you, as Catherine was saying there, with CVs or job applications or any part of the recruitment process, or even just to discuss, where you want to go with your career. And also, as you mentioned there, there's lots of events on that we host that are on all different campuses or online. So it would be great to have more people attend those. Now, can I just finish by asking you, how would you advise others to keep their motivation up? When things were getting tough, what really kept you going?
Yeah, I think apart from seeking for advice is really important. Look out for people that are on the path that you want to pursue, and I kind of get an encouragement from them. Sometimes you cannot have them directly, but you can follow them on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a good platform to really. So sometimes I used to go to LinkedIn just to see what other people are doing and kind of draw motivation from that. So it's one advice that I will give, to kind of make use of those important platform, and also don't give up. Know what you're looking for, and then push for it. I mean, there will be negativity and from people that basically have not gotten where you are and will discourage you to say, as an international student, you cannot get a job in this place. This is your place, you can't get there. I would say don't listen to them, but rather listen to yourself, your own strength, your capability, and know what you can do, and then push for it. Because in as much as a lot of applications will be rejected, there would also be some companies that would want to have your kind of expertise and the uniqueness that you bring on board.
Absolutely. That's so inspiring. Thank you so much, Catherine. It's been so wonderful to hear your story and to see where you are now. Can you tell us about your job at the moment? What do you love about your job?
Yeah, so I'm working in UWS in the Business Innovation Department, seated in the CP, the Center for Continuous Professional Development Department. So the project that I'm working on is a UKRI 21 million funded project. So I'm working as a project coordinator, working on 2 work packages. So innovation package, and then the skills package. So what I love about my job is the fact that you get to work with so many different stakeholders. It's a kind of a regional project. So it's focused on the south and west of Scotland. So you get to meet so many different people, get to speak with so many people that are actually doing what I aspire to be in the future, and also working with great colleagues. My senior manager, Susan McQuaid, she is very, very good. She's loving to work with. My colleagues, in my line manager, Lynn, who is really supportive. So working with such great people it excites me to get up and go to work, because I know that they will be there to help if I need it. Yes, so basically that's what I could say about I love it. It's a dairy specific project, so you get to hear topics on how to make happy cows, survey on happy cows welfare and all that. So it's really exciting, and I'm really learning a lot on this project. Yeah.
That's brilliant. I'm so pleased to hear that, and I'm so glad that you're enjoying your job and that you've got to where you want to be, starting your career path in the direction that you want it to go in. So it's just really great for us to hear that from a UWS graduate. And I'm sure that your story will be really inspirational, actually, to a lot of international students. What you were saying there about keeping on going and knowing what your skill set is, knowing what you can bring to the job, and to keep up that motivation. I'm just going to close. I'm going to thank you one last time, Catherine, for coming along to talk to us. I really appreciate your time and your insight into your experience. I'm just going to close with a few final tips for international students, hopefully, who will have learned a lot from what you've just said, but some practical tips. The first one is that, as Catherine mentioned, the first thing to do is really be aware of your visa options that are available to you. We do have a dedicated international student support team who are able to give you information on visas and the working rights you have. And you can also visit the UK Council for International Student Affairs website, which has lots of information on visas and what companies you can or can't work for. The second thing is it's a good idea to know which employers, as we mentioned, are able to sponsor international workers if your visa requires sponsorship. So as Catherine shared in her story, she was unable to keep on working for an organisation because it required a British passport. So the government website, gov.uk, has a register of licensed sponsoring employers who do make use of that resource. Thirdly, it's always a really good idea to try and get some work experience in the UK if you can. We have a section on our careers website on working in the UK while you study in our guide for international students. The fourth thing I want to say is it's a good idea to make sure your English is as fluent as possible if it's not one of your fluent languages. So make sure to seek out opportunities to improve your language skills while you can. And the final thing I want to say is look out for opportunities to develop the graduate skills that employers are looking for. So whether that's through volunteering or working part-time or getting involved in different aspects of university life, being able to reflect on your skill set and showcase your skills during recruitment processes will always help you to stand out. And as Catherine was saying there, knowing what you can bring to a company and knowing your uniqueness is also a really good reflection to do and will help you stand out when it comes to applying for jobs. I'm just saying thank you again, Catherine. And
a pleasure to be here.
It was just great to talk to you, and so lovely to hear that you're really enjoying where you are now. I'm just going to close by finally saying, please visit our careers website. There's a guide on there for international students with lots of information that we've covered today. And you can also book an appointment with a careers advisor who'd be more than happy to offer the help that Catherine received in checking a CV, applying for jobs, or helping you to develop your skills. Thanks again.
You have been listening to the UWS Careers Cafe, the podcast from UWS Careers team with hosts Una Ramsey and Nigel Royal, where we talk about everything related to student and graduate careers. If you have enjoyed listening to this episode, please check out the others in the series. Also, you can follow the link in the description to our website, where you will find an amazing array of career resources to help you forge your path to a rewarding career.